in order to obtain the burial objects in the tomb. Wu Jiuohua came to marry the daughter of the marshal who had just died. Unexpectedly, as soon as he entered the tomb, the bride climbed on him, obviously not giving him a chance to regret. Jiuohua could only carry the bride into the tomb hall. This place had been arranged as a wedding hall, and there were a large number of soldiers guarding on both sides, waiting for them to worship heaven and earth. Jiuohua had never seen such a strange scene before. He trembled like a sieve and stood beside the bride. As the third watch came, the bride suddenly knocked her head on the ground. This way of worshipping heaven and earth was really shocking. He could only bite the bulletin and knock his head when he saw the soldiers start to stare at him viciously. However, the high energy was still to come. When it came to the T- serving session, the marshal's eyes turned white, and the tea all flowed out along the wound on his neck. Jiuohua only realized at this time that all the people here were ghosts, but now there was no way out. He bravely lifted the veil. Fortunately, the bride looked happy, which made her temporarily regain a sense of security. Then, according to the rules of the marshal's mansion, the bride's feet had to be washed to complete the last step of the ghost marriage. Jiuohua was overjoyed when he heard this. The bride's hands were as soft as tears and her skin was as smooth as cream. She was simply a rare and stunning beauty. Unexpectedly, the foot minus washing water turned into blood water in an instant, and the matchmaker asked Jiuohua to drink the foot minus washing water, implying that he and the bride would become one from then on. Under the pressure of the marshal's ghost, Jiuohua could only pick up the foot minus washing basin and start drinking, but the water was fishy and pungent, and Jiuohua couldn't drink half of it. So they used a kind of hallucinogenic herb to make Jiuohua hallucinate continuously and create an accidental tragic death. As a result, the kid could survive every time, so the three tricked Jiuohua into robbing the tomb, and then stabbed him with a knife when he was not prepared. Finally, they blew up the exit of the tomb, and the entire tomb instantly became a ruin. In this way, Lao Wang used the property of the Hu family to expand gambling business. A year later, he had become the richest man in Chang'an town. That day, he reopened a gambling house. Unexpectedly, during the gambling, the mysterious woman suddenly found that her hands were covered with flowers, and she was itchy all over. As long as she scratched, she would be cut by the thorns of the flowers. At the same time, another corpse fell from the upstairs, and countless rats suddenly emerged from under it and began to attack humans indiscriminately. Then an actor appeared with a spear in his hand. It turned out to be the Pu young master Hu Jiuo, who was buried in the tomb. The housekeeper was quite shocked when he saw this scene. As a result, as soon as he approached, he was shot away by the iron spear in Jiuo Hu's hand. Lao Wang, who heard the news, wanted to take the opportunity to kill Go with a gun. Unexpectedly, Jiuo Hu was now like a ghost and was very fast. He was useless in just a few minutes of meeting. Unexpectedly, after the defeat, Lao Wang pretended to surrender and took out all his money, but took the opportunity to stab Jiuo Hu from behind. Fortunately, a mysterious Taoist appeared at this time and kicked Lao Wang to death. This Taoist was Sun Jiuo Fu, a great man of his generation. That day, seeing that Jiuo Hu was about to suffocate to death, a little mouse ran around outside frantically and finally dug a hole in the tomb. However, due to excessive physical exertion, the little mouse was eventually exhausted to death and exchanged his life for Jiuo Hu was on the spot, allowing you to repay your life. Later, Jiuo Hu escaped from the tomb and was rescued by Sun Jiuo Fu, who passed by. He also took him as an apprentice, taught him martial arts, and let him live with mice every day, gradually practicing the lost art of controlling mice in the rivers and lakes. Not only that, he also called the mice to empty the gambling house and distributed all the money to the poor people in the city. And he also became a gold minus grabbing lieutenant. Many years later, he passed a 16 minus character Yin minus Yang Feng Shui secretary to his grandson, who was called Ubei.